Hello everyone, and we're definitely bringing to you the latest on the Victor Osimhen transfer to Chelsea and what is definitely happening with quite a lot of competition for the football player. We've got some good news for Chelsea fans. All you need to do is simple, subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss it. Anyway, hello everyone, thank you for being part of the Chelsea chapter, and make it a point to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on whatever we've definitely got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Chelsea related, right about here at the Chelsea chapter with me, your host Abu KALS. What you need to do is simple, subscribe, ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on whatever we've definitely got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Chelsea related. You definitely know that we are in the transfer season. We're heading to the transfer season. It's just now a few days until we officially enter into the transfer season, but transfers have already started anyway. Things have changed always over time. Now clubs do not wait for transfers to officially begin. Even before transfers, just when football is done, more especially Premier League. When Premier League is done, they always try and go for these football players and things definitely like that. So it will be remembered that Victor Osimhen is a very good football player, one of the best football players that you can definitely get on any day. He's one of the best number nines, I must say, one of the best football players that you can get anywhere. For those of you who do not know who Victor Osimhen is, Victor James Osimhen is a Nigerian professional football player who plays as a striker for Serie A club Napoli and also the Nigerian national team. Considered as one of the best strikers in the world, he is known for his elite finishing, pace, strength, and athleticism. He is one of the best football players that you definitely can ever get. I will remember that Victor Osimhen has been linked to a number of clubs, and there's been a few bids for Victor Osimhen already, with some clubs coming up with a bid of £80 million, and Napoli saying we are definitely not giving him off for that little amount of money. Then also other clubs, including Manchester United, also coming in and wanting this gentleman Victor Osimhen. There are quite a lot of clubs. Now it's Chelsea. It's Real Madrid also was be interested in this gentleman. Paris Saint-Germain, Manchester United, all these clubs. Arsenal also was linked, and of recent, the club that was linked recently to this gentleman is none other than Newcastle. But we'll be talking in depth about all these clubs and where he is definitely going to be going. But I can tell you right about now, the biggest chance could be Chelsea, could definitely be Chelsea. Anyway, let us see exactly, first of all, what happened, what was wrong last season. Because Chelsea, with all the football players that Chelsea has great football players. We need to tackle this. Sometimes it's not about the football players, Sometimes it's more than the football players, because sometimes it's more than the football players, because when you see the amount of football players that Chelsea has, and leave alone the amount, also you need to look at the quality of football players that are at Chelsea. Very, very unbelievable. I mean, look at a football player like Joao Felix, though we are not sure whether Joao Felix will be remaining at Chelsea or not. And it looks like Atletico Madrid want him back. But he's one of the best football players that you can definitely get. He's a top-class football player, Joao Felix. Very good one. Very good football player. You can never find another Joao Felix anywhere. He's one of the best. And then leaving Joao Felix, look at Mason Mount. Mason Mount has been linked to an exit, and he could be going to Manchester United. And something about Mason Mount is, I think Chelsea has been a bit unfair about Mason Mount, because he's one of the least paid football players. Least paid Chelsea football players. I don't know whether you know what I mean. Very little amount of money has been given to him. his salary per month, not per month, per week is very, very low, extremely low. £80,000 per week. That for a football player like him is quite low. But anyway, the club is also running out of stars of football players, homegrown talent, and Mason Mount has been one of them, or is one of them. But we could be seeing Mason Mount leaving the club anytime from now. And also looking at Mikhail Mudryk. Mikhail Mudryk is a good one, still promising, but it's not had the best of seasons. Enzo Fernandez, top class football player. N'Golo Kante has been linked to an exit of the club, but we hope possibly he might be remaining at the club, Chelsea. Then Pulisic, good one. Kai Havertz, I'm not so sure about him, as sometimes it's not his best, and he's been given quite a lot of gameplay. But then Hakim Ziyech, a very good one, a very wonderful one, very good football player, very good midfielder. And then Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, I think he's aging, not performing as I definitely thought he would. Thiago Silva. Anyway, let's focus about the young football players, the football players who've just come, football players like David Datro Fofana, players like Marc Cucurella, Kalidou Koulibaly. All these they are very wonderful football players, And I'll explain to you what Todd Bowley was about and why he definitely bought all these young football players, these youngsters. But I must say, it's not worked as he wanted. Todd Bowley had a good plan, I must say. But who was there to execute the plan? That's also another thing. There's having a good plan, and also executing the plan is also another thing that you definitely need to look at. So I think Thomas Tuchel already is doing quite well at Bayern Munich. He's won the German Bundesliga, though credit has to be given to Nagelsmann and also him at the last moment. But I think Todd Bowley made a big mistake, I think Todd Bowley made quite a big blunder. For him to sack Thomas Tuchel, and if I can imagine giving Thomas Tuchel this kind of football players, Chelsea would be number one in the league. Chelsea would be number one in the Premier League, no doubt. If you give Chelsea these young football players, if you give Thomas Tuchel these young football players, Graham Potter wasn't a bad one, but I mean, Graham Potter is not used to that intensity of football. He's used to mid-table finishing. But Thomas Tuchel is a different type of football manager. So he's used to winning. So I think it wasn't the best of things for Todd Bowley to let this gentleman go. I don't think it was the best of solutions, and bringing a mid-table finisher as a manager wasn't the best of things to do. And now Chelsea has got a new manager, and that's Mauricio Pochettino. So looking at Mauricio Pochettino, I mean, he's had quite a lot of experience with younger football players, but I mean, I wish Mauricio Pochettino good at Chelsea, but the realistic point of view is he going to change the club? And why did he sign why did he have to sign only for 2 years? Mauricio Pochettino signed only for 2 years, signed a contract worth for just 2 years. So looking at that in all aspects, some people said he signed for 2 years simply because that's the club doesn't want to make a lot of losses. You can sack a manager for 2 years. You're not going to make a lot of losses. But if you've signed him, if he has a contract of 7 years, you've got to pay a lot of money. Big deal. But that's not the thing, Other sources say Mauricio Pochettino says he wants to first understand, see how the club is running and stuff before anything, which we kind of understand. We sort of understand that because he said he doesn't want to spend a lot of time in a club that is going nowhere, which is quite a bit sad. He wants to see how the club is going, and then he can have a long-term contract with the club. So the answer is in between those two. So Mauricio Pochettino is a very good one, very wonderful football player, football manager. And I think whatever he's doing is going to do for the club, Chelsea, is going to be quite good. But he will definitely need time to improve the club. So the fact that Victor Osimhen is yet another football player who's going to be brought into the club, it's just another youngster. I mean, look at Enzo Fernandez. Top class when he came to Chelsea, but he's not been able to perform very well. Look at Mikhail Mudryk. When he was in Shakhtar Donetsk, he was a very good one, very wonderful football player, but he's not managed to perform very well, Wesley Fofana, same thing. David Datro Fofana, same thing. Mark Cucurella, he's performed, but Benoit Badiashile, same. These young football players need a very good manager, and I hope Mauricio Pochettino is going to do a good job with these football players and can also use the summer transfer window to make sure that he gets the club that he definitely wants. And I mean, the club is full of young football players. Anyway, Raheem Sterling has got quite a bit of experience. Aubameyang has got a bit of experience, but there are very many young football players. There's Reece James, very good one. So just reinforcement. I don't think you should now focus on young football players. Well-established football players is also another thing. You'll remember that Victor Osimhen is definitely very happy about this. Victor Osimhen is willing to join the Premier League, and the question is now, looking at where Chelsea ended in the Premier League table, ended with 44 points. Premier League Gories has 38 games. Chelsea won 11 games, drew 11 games, and lost 16 games. I mean, we're talking about Chelsea. Last season, the recently concluded season, Chelsea ended in the 3rd position. The season before, Chelsea in 2021-2022, 4th position. Again, 4th in 2019-2020. Then 3rd place in 2018-2019. You can see there's been quite a bit of consistency. There's always been consistency, but the recently concluded season, which is season 2020, season 2023, I mean, it wasn't the best of And when Frank Lampard joined Chelsea, he hardly won anything. So let's hope that getting Victor Osimhen is going to change some things. And looking at Victor Osimhen's statistics, he's scored 25 goals in Serie A. And in the UEFA Champions League, he scored 5 goals. And that definitely makes 30 goals in total. So I think Chelsea, if they get Victor Osimhen, goal scorer, a finisher, Chelsea lack a finisher, a good finisher like him. But if they are to get him, I think they definitely need, if Chelsea need to get Victor Osimhen, Chelsea needs to act very fast, because he's not going to be available for all the time, you know. He's not going to be available. He's a hot cake. He's wanted in all over Europe. He's regarded as the best player in Europe now. And he's wanted also in the United Kingdom. He's needed by many Premier League clubs. And with Newcastle trying to develop their club, they're willing to pay quite a lot of money for him. So that's also something that Chelsea should understand. Otherwise, I thank you for being part of the Chelsea chapter, as we've been talking about Victor Osimhen's transfer to Chelsea, and we hope it will definitely go on quite well, as things are definitely happening very quick this time round. Thank you for being part of the Chelsea chapter, and make it a point to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on whatever we've definitely got to bring to you, as long as this is sports and as long as this is Chelsea related. Right by here at the Chelsea chapter, with me, your host Abu KALS, as I tell thank you and goodbye for now.